Hi, this is Rita.
And this is Tyler.
Welcome back. We're so glad you're here. Episode 2. we have been so excited for today. We wanted to get back from recording. We had so much positive feedback from the first episode.
It was so heartwarming and good for our soul.
100%.
It just makes us smile every time we hear the positive feedback.
Yeah, for sure.
And people opening up to other people and reaching out and checking in and everything. It feels so good.
It feels amazing. So we just kind of wanted to start off this episode by setting some intentions. We added these to our Spotify, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so these are our intentions, going forward, just so everyone kind of knows what's up.
Yeah, so, our goal with our podcast, or, the reason we wanted to start it, is we want to just, keep sharing our story in hopes that it might resonate with someone, and maybe it will help you, or maybe help open up a conversation with someone you love or someone you know who may be dealing with something similar.
Yeah, for sure. And when we're talking about stories, we're talking about our own story. We're trying not to use identifying factors or anything like that. But sometimes our stories involve side characters and we have to talk about them. We don't want to speak for them or for their experience. This is our story from our own perspective. Mm-hmm. And so just keep that in mind.
And it's important because they do have their own story too. And this is just told by us. So.
Yep, exactly. But anyway, we just wanted to thank all of you guys for listening, all the kind words and support. And we're also going to try and flag any potential trigger warnings.
Yes.
All right.
So for our first segment, highs
and lows.
Much better. All right, I'll start us off, and this time I'll get it right.
You'll follow the rules.
Yes, I'll follow the rules that
you said. Okay.
So my low is definitely, I got my period, and that's just if you know, you know. It's just a downfall. When you don't get it for a long time, it just hits you like a train. And the cramps are insanely painful. And you're hungry. And I was freaking crabby. And I'm sorry to everyone around me.
She was really crabby last night, but it's fine.
And, I can't control it. I mean, you can a little bit, but not really.
But also, it's a safe space. You can be crabby with me.
Yeah. And, I knew. That's why I was just let it out.
Yeah.
Because it needed to be.
Yeah, for sure.
But it just kind of makes the week or the time that you're dealing with your period just kind of hell sometimes.
Yeah. But to bring it up, what was your...
Hi. I got a text from a coworker. Her name is Noelle. We love her.
We love her so much.
So much. And she sent me this really sweet text message. I can't even pull it up because I'm podcasting right now. But it basically said, how great of a teacher I was and leader. And I was stepping in when she needed me. And I noticed that. And it was just really sweet to, get that message from someone who I think highly of. And we have a great working relationship. And it was just great to get that message after kind of a rough day of work, too.
Yeah. So. And, with our intentions, our hope to open up a conversation, she wanted to have a conversation with one of her own kids about some of, the workout stuff and eating stuff that we talked about last week. And I think that's great.
That's exactly, why we want to keep podcasting is, just so people will put themselves out there and, have those conversations that are hard and tough and that no one wants to talk about.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then one other high.
Oh.
The podcast success.
Y'all are listening.
Yeah. So we love you so freaking much. And yeah, it's been so cool to, every day, to see how many views, not views. Okay.
Listening.
I'm so sorry.
She calls it viewers and we're just going to let it slide, everyone, okay?
Yeah, so listeners, and what else do we watch? Oh, followers and just everything.
Yeah.
Oh, we have an Instagram.
Oh yeah, check us out at Neurospicy Babes. It's NEU.
Yeah.
For anyone who didn't know how to spell it, just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so that's me.
Yeah. So my low is the same because apparently it's contagious. I also got my period. Cramps have been rough. Ibuprofen.
But hey,
A
we die
plus.
in pain together.
Yeah.
Girl
Also,
power.
yeah. Also, like, don't get a wax when you're on your period. It always ooh. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, we made it explicit.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
Okay, well, I don't even remember why I was gonna swear. I was mad about something.
Because how bad it fucking hurt.
Oh yeah, it really fucking hurts to get waxed when you're on your period. You're just a little more sensitive, and that's a bummer. But anyway, my high is I get to see my sister and my mom and my little niece tomorrow, and we're doing crafts. And I bought some fun crafts. We're gonna make ornaments and little gingerbread guys. This will be fun.
So fun. Family time is always a good time.
So Taylor, I have a question.
Yeah.
Ketchup or mustard?
How'd you know? Ketchup.
Ketchup. Oh, okay.
Catching up is the next segment. If you're not laughing, I really think you should. It was pretty funny.
So tell us about your parents' new store, Tyler.
Oh, yeah. So my parents have been working on this new endeavor. My mom will love that word.
That's a good word.
Yeah, she loves that word. For like 6 months now, and they are finally opening their store that they've been working on. It's a franchise, and it's called the Spice and Tea Exchange, and their opening date is December 2nd, and it's basically just a bunch of spices and teas in
And
jars.
exchange is? Or no?
I don't really know where the exchanges come into place. Someone might need to educate me on that. But yeah, so we're just pumped about that, working on getting the final finishing touches on the store and trying to run the social media as a new thing. So
Yeah, she's kind of a social media manager now. She does our social media, does her parents' social media.
meter. I also do my own personal, just all around, dipping my toes in everything.
Yeah, her toes are all over the place. You guys have no idea. Anywho, for catching up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. My boyfriend finally comes home after being gone forever and ever. He comes home on Sunday, and I'm excited. And also, it was a little bit of a bummer. He's not home on Saturday, but Saturday is our 1 year anniversary.
Ooh.
1 year.
Can you tell us what you got him? Or is that...
I don't know exactly when we're going to give gifts because he ordered something off the internet and I don't think it's here yet.
Okay, so we should probably wait for another episode.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll have to wait.
Yeah.
Come back later.
Easter egg.
Wait, can I pause us for a minute?
Yeah.
Not like real pause, like
Oh.
I gotta tell the audience something.
Pause us. Collective us.
Yeah. We are using microphones.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the tech guy at work.
Yes, we love him. He let us use microphones. He doesn't know what we're using them for yet, but he will eventually. So
He will eventually.
when
He's
we ask for
appreciated.
him every Thursday. So that's why you can actually hear us now.
Yeah. Especially Tyler. She's speaking up.
Speaking of, okay,
But should we dive into our topic for the week?
yes. So our topic is therapy.
Treat yourself.
Yay. So, where do we want to start?
I think maybe explaining the different types.
Okay.
And you know more about that than I do.
So I did bring up the good old interweb, as some may call it. And there are many different types of therapy, and I feel like I even had to double check of like which one we typically think of as the typical talk therapy, and it has a name that's not just talk therapy, and it's called, can you say it for me? Because I don't know how to say it.
Is it the psychotherapy? Cognitive therapy?
No.
There's a lot of kinds
This
of therapy.
one.
Oh, that's a word.
I think it's psychoanalytic.
Oh my gosh, that is so right. You did it.
I did it.
Good job.
Boom.
We fist bumped.
Psychoanalytic therapy. So that's the typical therapy it's most common that you hear about. So that's just like the talk therapy. And what it said is like that's the therapy that these psychoanalytics people think is dealing, or how would you say it? Stuff from our past affects your future.
Yeah, and also
your
talking
brain.
like day to day and just, I mean, you talk things through and they like guide you through it, and
So that's the main one. Or do you want to start?
you don't have to ask. You could just
But
do
do you
it.
want to start?
I don't know. Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Go for it. Me?
Yeah. Okay, well, okay. God.
Podcasting's hard.
Okay, so I started therapy, and I wouldn't even know if it's considered therapy, but I was going through a rough patch in, I want to say like 4th grade is when it kind of got the worst of the worst.
That's so crazy because 4th grade is like when my
When yours
stuff
started
started.
too. I think 4th grade with girls is just
Yeah.
intense. Like, I was bullied, and it was just girl drama amongst girl drama. I don't remember this, but my family does, and they told me this, that I would just come home crying every day and not want to go to school because of girls basically in my class. And I don't remember this, but this happening, my parents were like, well, something has to happen. So they put me in therapy basically, but it was at school. So I don't know what that's technically considered, but
It's probably just called like counseling.
counseling. So I was in counseling while in school, and I'd get pulled out like quite a few times a week to go talk to the counselor at school. And then eventually it turned into like group therapy or group counseling, I guess, with others, just kind of like to take my mind off of what was going on. And then as I got older, in probably high school, middle school, high school, I started going to like actual one-on-one therapy outside of the school. I had a lot of trauma that we will get into, but a lot of like family things. I had a suicidal death of my aunt, and that just had played a big impact in my life and emotions and everything going on. The talk therapy, basically. And I absolutely love it. Ever since then, I have been going till now. Like, I love therapy. I think it's the most beneficial thing for me. I love talking about my day, or I love talking about what's going on and like kind of getting a deeper dive of why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking and how I can reframe my brain to think a different way. So that's kind of why I like it and why I think it's important.
Yeah, and you're currently in therapy right now.
Yes. So I go bi-weekly, so every other week, or at least I try to, best with my schedule. And truthfully, like, that's the best time frame that I've decided works best with me, or like I can just call or email if I need to make an appointment sooner, and they're very good about trying to get me in the best of their ability. But obviously, accessibility is super hard, which we'll talk more
Yeah.
probably in a little bit. But
Like, how many therapists do you think you've had in your life?
okay, that's the other issue. I've had 4, and they all have gotten pregnant. And that is a great thing for some, but it really pisses me off because I connect with them and I grow close with them. And like, when you first start a therapy session, you have to you have 2 days of intake typically.
Yep.
And I've gotten really good at intake because, like I said,
You're like, this is my story, and you're like, just rattle through.
Yeah, and like I can tell you my story inside and out now. I feel like I just got it boom, boom, boom. So, but you just have to go through every little detail, and you're just re-bringing up that trauma and that heartache and those memories that you necessarily don't. I feel like at times we want to try and forget, and you can't when you have to like re-talk about it every single time. But I think in the end, having to go through so many therapists because one gets pregnant and then I connect with the next one and then they leave or get pregnant. So having to share my story so many times has truly helped me and made my life better because I can just share it like openly and I don't have those hard emotions or feelings attached to it anymore, I would say, like where I get choked up about it or cry when I say it. So like I've kind of like grieved through those emotions in a sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So when you're saying 4, you're just saying like as an adult you've had 4? So like you had your counselor at school.
Yeah, I would say 4 in general.
Okay, 4 in general. Okay. I thought it'd be more.
Yeah, no, 4 in general.
Okay.
Is what I can remember. And then we did a fun little thing called family therapy.
Ugh.
And to be honest, I do not like family therapy. At least my experience was not good. Have you ever tried family therapy?
One time, one session. Not great.
Yeah. We had some. Yeah, it was just all around, like, to me, when I look at it, both parents got to be on the same page if we're going to go into family therapy.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't the case. And then it kind of just didn't go well for anyone. I think the therapist was like, what's going on here? But, you know, some people really like it and it works for their family. But we were just
I think it also
trying our
depends
last
on like the issues that you're having and like I don't know, one big thing for me with therapists is like the relationship. And it's hard to find a therapist where like the whole family is going to be into it.
Exactly. I've always had a female therapist, and our family therapist was a male. So that was a little different for me, too, because I didn't have that relationship. And not that I don't feel comfortable opening up to a male, but it is just different. It truly is different.
For sure.
So, yeah, that's kind of my take on therapy and my history with it. One other thing, I was in the hospital when I was 18, and we'll talk about that big T another time because that's a long episode time.
Yeah.
But coming out of the hospital, I was in therapy, and the program or the therapy that they taught me was DBT, and that has been something that has stuck with me, and I've been trying to continue to have in my life. And that's like focusing more on like reframing your thoughts and how that can like affect your life in a positive way, and like just taking time to notice your surroundings or where you're at and like being in the present moment. And that has been something that has been a great change in my life. So that's my therapy.
Yeah. So I've had 3 therapists, and so my issues kind of started in 4th grade, and then I started therapy the summer in between 5th grade and 6th grade because my parents were like, why is she crying all the time? This seems concerning.
This is not normal.
At first they were like, oh, she has such a tender heart, it's so sweet. And then they would just like, I would start crying again and they'd like give each other a look. I was like, ah, man. But anyway,
like, what do I do? She's still crying.
Exactly. So I went and I saw a therapist, and I'm sure she's a really nice lady and she's probably really good at her job. but it didn't really go well. I think it gave my parents some like peace of mind just because they didn't know what to do, and it kind of messed me up. So I was like, all right, time to just like lie. I think that's gonna be a theme.
You might see that theme throughout here.
Oh boy. And I just like started hiding all of my emotions and like taught myself how to like stop crying and a bunch of stuff. And then I just like buried everything deep, which was bummer. And then, which kind of, all built up with some other stuff to when I was in high school. I think I was like 16. And my parents brought me to therapy again. And it was kind of a little tricky because they they pulled a little trick on me. And so I'd gotten caught for having a small get together.
Ooh, small.
It was a party. I got caught for having a party at my parents' house because my mom found stuff under the couch when she vacuumed.
What kind of stuff?
Oops. Like alcohol stuff.
Ooh.
Anyway, so they like sat me down and they're like, we're really worried about you. And I was like, oh my God, they can tell that I'm in like a horrible place. And they're like, we're sending you to therapy. And I was like, great, awesome. So I go to therapy and I sit down and I was like, I don't trust this lady. So it took me a really long time to open up. And I was like finally getting to a place where I could open up. And I found out that I didn't get sent to therapy because of the party. I got sent because my parents read some scary stuff in a journal of mine by mistake. And it just kind of broke my trust that I'd spent a long time building with the therapist. And broke my trust with my parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just like broken trust or whatever. And then
At first I thought you said the therapist read your journal.
Well, she did because my parents made a photocopy.
Oh. Spicy.
So fun, so fun. I mean, I don't like blame them at all. Like they were just doing like the best they could with what they had, and they were scared and they wanted to help and they didn't know how and all that kind of stuff. But the therapist I blame a little bit because I think she should have known better.
Yeah.
But anyway, so broke the trust with that. Then we did like one session of family therapy. Fun.
That's sarcastic.
Yeah, that was super sarcastic. It was not great. I think again it kind of gave my parents peace of mind, and I was just like, well, I guess I'm on my own again. Got to figure stuff out. And then I just figured stuff out, I guess. And then again when I was like 21, 22, right after college, it was a big life transition. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I started therapy then, and I saw that therapist for close to 4 years, and it was amazing. It was like talk therapy. When I first started out, I was going weekly, and then like slowly over the years, I think at the end I got it down to like once a month type of thing. But it was great. Like we had that relationship. She knew everything about me, all the characters in my life. Like it was so helpful, and it helped me heal a lot of the past trauma. And also when things would just come up, then we could like deal with that right away. And it was wonderful. I loved it. It changed my life.
Should we give the listeners, do you see how I said listeners?
You did. Good job.
A little insight of like what our therapy sessions involve?
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes people like literally visualize or think, obviously therapy does have a stigma attached to it, and we're trying to help that go away. But like I feel like the stereotypical is someone laying on a couch.
I've never laid down in therapy.
Never.
Okay, you haven't either?
No,
Okay.
half the time I do it on the phone.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
true.
I do virtual because it's just simpler, easier.
Yeah. I did some virtual during
COVID.
lockdown. Yeah.
But like, you never lay down, like unless you're
No.
tired or something. But
I don't know why you would lay down. That
I
feels
don't know
weird to
either.
me.
And like every like therapy session I've been in, like There's never a couch that big
Yeah.
to lay down on.
True. True.
But
Yeah.
and
so,
then they always think like the therapist fixes you.
yeah.
That's doesn't
Honestly, the
happen.
therapist barely says anything.
Mm-hmm.
And not in like a,
Bad way.
it's like such a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I would say we start off sessions and you kind of just be like, so what's going on? And then I just like spill the tea because there's lots of it in my life.
oh yeah, always.
And then from there, we kind of just like go in depth of like maybe how it's bothering you or what it's feeling like or how you want to move forward with different things. And you talk through ways that are going to work for you.
Yep.
Like it's never her saying, this is what you should do.
Yeah. And it's always like sometimes there would be something specific I was working on for like a certain period of time, but a lot of times it was like an overarching thing I was working on, and we would just address that problem within like what was going on in that moment.
Exactly.
And it was, I don't know, like some weeks, every week is different. Like it's never exactly the same. And like there'd be some weeks where you would go in, or at least for me, I'd go in and I'd be like feeling really good. Everything was great, and like we would have less to talk about. And those were kind of times where we would like dive into like older stuff or whatever.
Yep. That's how mine is too. Like, depending on, again, how my weeks have been going, like, either I have a lot to talk about and need to get off my chest. And, I mean, it's someone to vent to, but it's also someone who, like, is knowledgeable on how to, again, handle my emotions, handle my thoughts with it. So when I don't have these bigger things going on in my life, we spend that time talking about DBT skills or, yeah, like you said, diving into deeper trauma.
Yep. Yep. And it's like the kind of feedback you would get. It's not like in the movies either where they just sit there and they're like, and how does that make you feel?
No.
How does that make you feel?
In, like, that tone, too.
Yeah. No, like they talk like a normal, they're like a normal person.
Yeah.
They're human.
And, like, the one thing I admire about them so freaking much is how great of a listener they are.
Yes.
Being a listener is a very hard trait. Like, I'm working on it. But, like, they are pros at it.
Yeah, they're an active listener, and it's really good. And they just ask questions that you wouldn't have thought of by yourself. And sometimes also questions like you're kind of avoiding. And
That's a big one. Ones you're avoiding.
yep.
To make you think deeper.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. My last experience with it was absolutely amazing. And like I said, it truly changed my life and so much about me for the better. And the skills that I learned in it, I use every single day.
That's what I think is the best thing, too, that I've taken out of therapy is, like, I use the skills. I use them every day, and that's the greatest thing.
Yeah. And I think like having that strong relationship with your therapist is so important. Frame it in with like children, like what you do for children.
Oh, yeah.
Is that okay? Can I say
Yeah.
this? Okay. So my therapist would always frame it in the way of children because I have a lot of background with that and a lot of knowledge with that. So that was like a route that she could take to have me understand things.
And she did that because she knew you as a person and that background about you.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
I think it's also, like, very important to, like, let you know if you haven't tried therapy or if, like, you're thinking about it. Like, it does take time. And it takes a lot of time. Like I said, the initial intake typically is 2 times, if not longer, depending on how much you have to talk about. Like, you have to talk about family history, family medical history, family, like, what you were like as a baby, like, what you know. Like, so there's lots of things to go through. It's not, therapy isn't easy.
No, it's work. And
It's
like
a lot of work.
I got homework. And if you don't do the homework, like, then it's kind of like, well, what do we talk about now?
But it's also what you put into it is what you're going to get out.
Yes.
And it goes back to our previous episode last week, but we want you to think of your body as your whole entire freaking body and your brain. And like, you need to be healthy, and your body needs to be healthy, and like your brain needs to be healthy. So like, this is something that you can do to make it all work.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. And I think it's important when we talk about this stuff, like the barriers to getting it. I know, like, growing up in a rural area, finding a therapist is really, really hard. And even living in a bigger city, like, they're booked up, they're not taking new clients.
They get pregnant.
They they do get pregnant. Your insurance might not cover everything, or may not cover like a certain place. And so accessibility is a real problem. And just so people know, like, there is a lot of resources, and it's really like where you're at specific. So you do have to do a little bit of research. And also, most therapists do like a sliding scale based on your income for how much you pay. So there is a lot of accessibility issues, but if it's something you need, we think like it's worth it.
Yes. And I think it's worth like putting in the time and effort to like figure out where you can go, how you can get the resources and everything, and just taking the time to find a therapist that's gonna be best fit for you.
Yep.
When I kind of had it for a while with, again, my pregnant therapist, because I was just like so mad that I keep doing the same thing over, and then I have to stop right when things start to get good, and you build that relationship. Like it's a relationship is what it is. Like,
it is, yeah.
And then you have to end it, and you're like, okay, well, bye, never see you again. So I did a lot of research on my next therapist, and I
made sure she wasn't of childbearing age.
I didn't do that, but I did ask her and told her that I have trauma. And she said she's not planning on having kids anytime soon. So shout out to you. But yeah, what was I saying? I don't know. Oh, I did a lot of research. And you can like go online to the different types of places.
Yeah.
I go to Nyströms and Associates. I think we can give them a shout out. They're pretty great.
For sure.
But you can like look their website up, and they'll have all their therapists, and they'll say descriptions about them, what they like specialize in.
Yep.
Like if you're looking for a more Christian one, or like my case, I wanted someone educated in DBT, and so it shows like what therapy style they tend to, or that they know or are knowledgeable with. Or there's like family therapy, or just different things that
couples therapy, which we're discussing.
Yeah, therapy is amazing. So.
Yes. And it's okay, like, in your first appointment, ask questions that might feel uncomfortable. Like, if you're really passionate about, like, some political stuff, like, you can ask that. Or if you're...
Or religions, or
sex, or identity, or, like, any of that stuff. Ask the uncomfortable questions. And
right away
and find a good fit. And yeah,
because it's gonna save you time in the end. And I just want to reemphasize, like, it is going to take you time, but again, like,
yes,
what you put in is what you're gonna get out.
Like, I spent 4 years in therapy with the same therapist, and honestly, like, I foresee myself in the future going back to therapy for sure. Just at the time, like, it wasn't something that I needed, but anytime I need it, I'm ready to go back. And yeah, and it's an investment in yourself. It truly is. Like, buying a gym membership or a new pair of tennis shoes. Like, people like think that's an investment in themselves. So is therapy, and so is taking care of your mind and soul. So,
and it's treating yourself. Just investing yourself. You're doing, again, what you need, and I think everyone needs therapy.
Yeah. And
everyone can
treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Well, that's therapy. We're not experts in it by any means, but we did want to share our thoughts and our experiences. So,
yeah.
If you want to like leave a comment or a question, or any experience you've had with therapy, go ahead and do that. We'd love to hear about it.
So let's spill the tea.
Ooh. So I guess I'll kind of update you on my tea from last week. Everything with the mentor-mentee thing. And honestly, I'm feeling really good about it. There hasn't really been any other incidences. And I'm just really relieved about the whole situation. And like I've ran into her several times at work. And like we've had little normal conversations and everything. So like I'm feeling really good about it.
That's
so
good.
Probably not like the spiciest tea, but we can have spicy tea every week.
Can't have spicy tea every week. If you're looking for real tea, shop at the Spice and Tea Exchange. We'll get back to you on what the exchange means, but so mine kind of goes hand in hand. Not hand in hand.
Not
No,
at all.
Not at
at
all. But yeah, no.
I like how you tried to make like a smooth transition, but
Yeah, we're still working on transitions. In my work career, in my career, I use lots of transitions, and somehow I'm really smooth there.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
but here, no. Okay, what was my transition?
I don't know, but you wanted to talk about some like stuff with friendships.
Oh yeah. So I guess I just wanted to like say friendships are so hard, and it's a lot of work to have good friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always seemed to struggle with friendships. Not like
Same.
gaining friends, but just, I don't even know. Because it's not even losing them or keeping them. It's just, I try really hard on who I want in my life and the type of people and that type of thing that
Yeah, and we
it's
have
just hard.
have that in common. Like we know the people that you surround yourself really affects your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're kind of picky, and I think that's okay, but making sure to do it in a kind way can sometimes be hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so important. Having a village around you of people
Yep.
is, in my opinion, essential. We're social creatures. We need a community.
Yeah. So that's really it. Just like, just friendships are hard, and they're a great thing, and I love having so many friends,
Mm-hmm.
different friends, and
Yeah,
just working through it.
definitely. So, what you reading?
What you reading? Well, I'm currently still reading the same book, because I've been with you the last week,
Yeah,
so I haven't really caught up in my reading.
that's okay.
So I'm
Sometimes, like, I read books fast, sometimes I read them slow, so that's fine.
something about me is I don't read very well.
Yeah.
So we're working on it.
And that's fine. And you listen to a lot of your books,
Yes.
which is a type of reading. Like, you're still have to comprehend and use a lot of literacy skills, so
And like my favorite way is to like look at the book and listen to it. So that's what I like to do if I'm able to. Accessibility, because you're
Woohoo.
getting something at your fingertips with this episode.
don't tell them that yet because I don't know yet.
Okay, well, eventually you are going to be getting
A transcript.
a transcript to the podcast
Because we want to be accessible, but it's sometimes things are hard and we're just doing our best, folks.
Yeah, but eventually you'll have one. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What
What are you reading?
I'm reading a new one. I'm reading a suggestion by you. She hasn't read it yet, though.
I know, like
It's just on her list,
it is on my list.
but I'm reading it first. It's called "Come as You Are," wink, wink, by by Emily Nagoski. I hope I said that right. By Emily Nagoski,
I would say so.
and it's about like sexual health, really,
For women.
for women. And it just starts off like the first section that I'm in right now is literally just like an anatomy lesson, which sounds like you're like, I know the anatomy, but I don't think I knew all the anatomy.
No. And can we share the one piece of information from the book?
Yeah, so
It's so interesting.
it's so interesting. One of the big things she's talking about is how like everything starts off the same in the womb, like before your like genetic code is like male or female parts. And so like all the parts like have equivalents to each other. Like a clitoris is like the same as a penis. If you've ever noticed on like a man's balls or someone who has balls, that like line in the middle is actually where it would have split into the labia,
Which is insane.
which is insane.
Like, it's just weird to think about.
And it's so funny because not that long ago, like a friend of my boyfriend's was getting a vasectomy, and then we started talking about the line, and nobody knew why the line was there. And it's because if they would have had female parts, it would have been labias.
Yeah.
Those little lips down there.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
Tyler hated that. She hated it
hated
so
that
much. She's cringing.
Damn, that was too far. Too far.
Sorry. But anyway, that's the first chapter, and it's gonna go into like stuff about like pleasuring yourself and stuff. So I'm excited.
Spicy. I
Yeah.
love a good spicy. But something I wanted to bring up about you saying like it went into all the anatomy and the actual terms.
Oh yeah.
Like we said, you have a lot of background with children, and we were talking about like when we have our own kids, we want to make sure that we give them the proper terminology. Like we're not calling it a freaking pee-pee.
No, absolutely not. And like let them know like what parts they have, because to be frank, I didn't know I had a vagina until 5th grade in sex ed class, and I was like, "Oh, I have that? That's okay."
Well, and like I see TikToks all the time, like they're like, well, where does the pee come out if they have a tampon in?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Everyone should know this.
Yes.
Male and female.
Yes.
So like,
And I think
let's
like
get the anatomy together.
obviously there's a problem with like atypical males like not knowing female parts, but I think also with females, like all the stigma and shame that's around it, we also are not always as educated as we should be on it. Like there's no reason I should have gotten to 5th grade and not known anything about my own body. That's really bad. But yeah.
One like fun fact is I never had sex ed.
Oh,
Do you remember this? I told you. So I
you went to
never-
public school.
I went to public school, and there's a sex ed class, but I didn't go to it, or like that's the time when they pulled me out for my like special reading class. So they pulled me out of sex ed, so I didn't get sex ed.
That could like explain some things that we will go into later. Big tease coming at you.
I didn't get sex ed. I didn't get home ec. That's why I can't fucking cook.
Oh my god.
And I didn't
They
get
really
that sewing
fucked
class.
you over.
Yeah.
Cheapers.
Maybe I should talk to them.
Yeah, there's some things we can fix about public education. But should we wrap it up with something new you're doing for yourself?
Yes. So something new that I'm doing for myself kind of goes into the theme this week. And I just thought about it is I changed my screensaver
Oh yeah.
to a quote, not a quote, a reminder. I previously had my screensaver as a quote that I absolutely love. And I changed it to a reminder of taking deep breaths. And I look at my phone more than any human should probably look at their phone. But it's a great reminder, and I literally take deep breaths all the time. So it says, like, I don't even remember. I should remember.
It's like
Take a breath in, hold it
1, 2, 3.
for 5, 6, 7, and then you let it out for 8.
Wow, we are so good at counting.
Thank goodness we don't teach children. We would. Yeah.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so just like how important it is to take deep breaths and to like stop and focus, refocus your brain.
Yep.
And yeah, we
Yeah.
just teach deep breaths are important, so it's important for
Yeah,
all of us.
for sure. And I'm going to just be honest, because that's what we do here. I have not been working on anything new for myself. And like last week, I talked about like reading in the middle of the night to try and help myself sleep. But
Tyler has been here many of the nights.
yeah.
So give yourself some grace.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. Like sometimes we're just stagnant. One thing I'm remembering right now is I need to work on saying like less.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
Yeah. So,
Like.
so I'm really sorry, everyone, but it is a work in progress. And yeah, so,
And,
oh, guasha.
oh yeah. My boobs are feeling great.
I'm glad your boobs feel great.
But I haven't gua sha'd all week because I haven't been home.
It's time for my boyfriend to come home. It's time for Tyler
to get back in her guashing routine and get her boobies back in order.
On that note, thank you everybody for listening. We love you.
We love you so much, and we hope that you have the best day because it's Friday
Friday, every Friday, you'll catch us here
at sometime in the morning.
Neurospicy Babes. We love you. Follow us on Instagram.
Like us on Spotify.
Follow us on Spotify.
Leave a review if you feel inclined.
And we'll talk to you again next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.